My name is Helen Carter. I'm 75 years old. At 55, I learned that food could become a luxury. That July, my adult children announced they were going to Europe for a month: Paris, Rome, Santorini. They placed two $10 bills and a credit card on the kitchen table, told me it was for emergencies, then dragged their suitcases out the door without looking back. I didn't know the card had never been activated. I also didn't know that 30 days later, when they returned and threw a party to show off their European vacation photos to 40 guests, the police would walk into our living room. But that's the ending. Let me tell you how it started. I lived in a 2-story house in suburban Denver. The front lawn was perfectly trimmed. 2 cars sat in the garage. Everything looked beautiful from the outside. My daughter Diane had thousands of followers on social media. She posted family photos every week: Sunday dinners, weekend getaways, Christmas trees. "Blessed," she would write. "So grateful for my little family." But if you looked closely, I was rarely in those photos. My son Greg worked long hours. He came home, ate dinner, watched the news, and went to bed. When Diane decided something, he simply agreed. He wasn't cruel. He just wasn't present. I had learned early to take care of myself, making my own meals, managing the house, never asking for too much. Diane called me the quiet one in front of guests. "Mom doesn't need much attention," she would say with a light laugh. "She likes being alone, right, Mom?" She never waited for an answer. I would nod because if I didn't, she would sigh as if I had ruined her day. I was used to being invisible. I thought it was normal. I never thought they would actually leave me alone for a full month with almost nothing. 2 weeks before they left, Diane called me downstairs. She was booking flights. "Mom, we need a break. A month in Europe. You're 55 now, old enough to stay home alone." I asked who would stay with me. She didn't look up. "You'll stay alone. What's so hard about that?" I asked about relatives. She cut me off. Grandma was busy. Aunt Ruth was not allowed in the house. She placed 2 $10 bills and a silver credit card on the table. $20 for snacks if you need them. "This card is for emergencies only. Don't use it unless the house is on fire." I nodded. They left on a Monday morning. I stood at the door and watched the car disappear around the corner. The first night the house was so quiet I could hear the refrigerator humming. The refrigerator was nearly empty. Half a carton of milk, 4 eggs, a loaf of bread past its expiration date. I counted my money, $20 for 30 days. I tried the credit card. Transaction declined. The card had never been activated. I bought 6 packs of ramen and a loaf of bread with my first $10. I rationed everything. 1 pack of ramen split into 2 meals. Day 5, I called Diane. She sighed and told me I was being dramatic. "You have $20, eat less, I'm at a restaurant, stop calling." She hung up. I opened her social media. New post: Diane standing in front of the Eiffel Tower holding champagne. "Living my best life." I began recording short videos on an old tablet. Day 5, Mom posted a photo from a Michelin restaurant. I ate half a pack of ramen. Day 7, my neighbor, Mr. Harold, a 70-year-old widower, knocked on the door. He noticed the cars were gone. He asked if I had eaten. When I told him the truth, he brought me spaghetti that night and food every day after that. He told me to write everything down. Sometimes evidence is what protects you. At school, the teachers noticed I was losing weight. The nurse weighed me, 9 pounds gone in 2 weeks. They asked where my parents were. I said nothing because Diane had threatened boarding school if I told anyone. An anonymous call from Mr. Harold finally forced the school to act. A caseworker named Karen from Child Protective Services came to the house. She saw the empty refrigerator, the ramen wrappers, my thin face. I showed her the videos. She asked one question no one had ever asked me. "Do you want to be safe?" For the first time, I said yes out loud. Karen subpoenaed the credit card records. My children had spent $47,312 in Europe, hotels, restaurants, shopping. The card they gave me showed 0 transactions because it had never been activated. Diane called and threatened me again. I told her I had videos, emails, and evidence. She hung up. She posted on social media about a welcome home party for 40 guests. Karen decided the warrant would be served at that party so they would be home. The day they returned, the living room was filled with champagne and a slideshow of their European trip. Diane was glowing, telling guests how wonderful the vacation had been. Then the police walked in. Karen stood beside them with a folder of evidence. Diane's face went white. Guests watched in silence as the officers read the charges: child endangerment. Diane screamed that it was a misunderstanding. No one believed her. 40 pairs of eyes that had once liked her posts now stared at her with something colder. The police walked my children out in handcuffs. No one said goodbye. Aunt Ruth, the sister Diane had cut off years earlier, appeared the next day. She filed for temporary guardianship. CPS approved it. For the first time in weeks, I felt hope. The court permanently revoked my children's parental rights. Ruth's guardianship became permanent. I moved into her small, warm apartment. We ate simple dinners together. She wrote my appointments on the calendar. She listened. She stayed. 7 years later, I was packing for college on a full scholarship. I finally opened the letters Diane had written. She said she was in therapy and sorry. I did not write back. I did not need to. I had learned the only lesson that mattered. Silence does not protect you. It only protects the people who hurt you. Family is not blood. Family is who shows up. Ruth showed up. Mr. Harold showed up. Karen showed up. The people who love you will never ask you to starve for them. I survived that month. I documented every day. I let the truth speak for itself. When the consequences came, when Diane stood in her own living room watching her perfect image shatter, that was not revenge. It was simply reality catching up. My children left me with $20 and a locked credit card. I walked away with the truth, my boundaries, and a life that finally belonged to me. And that is the only ending I need. Thank you for watching Hidden Truth Revenge. If this story stayed with you, leave a comment and tell me where you are watching from. You are allowed to protect yourself. You always were. All characters, conflicts, and events are fictional and created only for entertainment and educational purposes.